Peace everyone, Unmasked here, and welcome to day 28 of Inktober. We are so close, we are to the finish line, we can see the red tape, and we're almost there, so just hang on a few more days with me, and we are going to be done. Hello Wendy and Gihan and Hilda, welcome, welcome. Always glad to see you guys here at the live stream. So for today's prompt, the prompt is fall. And my initial thought and some of the recommendations from you guys included a person falling or some object or something falling. But what I decided to go with instead was fall as in the season of autumn. And to go in line with the prompt, I decided to do a beautiful fall leaf. And you can kind of think of this as doing like the realism challenge, because leaf seems to be a popular choice of subject for the realism challenge. Sometimes it's a spoon, sometimes it's a leaf, who knows. But I decided to go with a leaf, so I'm going to be doing a leaf. I don't know if you can see my very faint sketch of the leaf, but I'm going to be doing this in markers, so it's the realism challenge with markers. So it's a little bit different than the mixed medium stuff or the pastels or colored pencils that a lot of people choose to do the realism challenge with. So it's going to be a challenge. But yeah, let's have some fun with it and go ahead and get right into it. Hello Chrissy, Erica, and Christine, and Anastasia. Hello everyone. Hope you had a lovely Friday. Today is Saturday, right? Yes, it is. I've been all kinds of mixed up with my days over Inktober. It's just been so hard to remember what day it is. And you know what? For the past 2 days, I think I've even mentioned it a bit, that's Monday. I said that Monday was the last day of Inktober, and I didn't realize that I was wrong, that it's Tuesday, that Tuesday is actually the last day. When my lovely wife came and talked to me earlier today, I was talking about Monday being the last day of Inktober, and she said, "No, it's Tuesday." And I said, "What? No, it isn't. There's only so many prompts left or whatever." And she's like, "No, it's Tuesday." And I had to look at the calendar, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so disappointed. I was so looking forward to Monday being the last day that my whole mindset was, okay, Monday's the last day. I just got tomorrow and then Monday. And I think what happened is, so today, after I finish this leaf, there will be 3 prompts left. But yesterday, since I was working on Friday's prompt, I said that there was only 4 prompts left, which in my mind meant Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, and then I was done. But what I meant to say was that there's 4 prompts after I finished Fridays, and so my days have just been all kinds of mixed up. I don't even know what happened this month in the rest of the world, because I've just been nothing but Inktober this entire month. All of my thoughts have been towards Inktober. It's been such a struggle keeping up with life. I finally did find the time to shave my face, which feels nice. So I don't look like a bum that much anymore. Let's see. Hello, Grammy School. Good morning to you. And Cheryl. Hi. Finally got to join a live stream. Well, I'm glad you're here, Cheryl. Thank you. Barbell. Hello. Welcome. What am I drawing today? I'm drawing a leaf. I'm drawing a leaf for fall. Nice pretty yellow and orange leaf. I'm going to be working just in markers, and I'm going to try to get this leaf to look as realistic as possible. And to do that, I'm going to take my time. I'm working on just the outline with my lightest color, so I'm working with my lightest color at the moment. And then I will erase a bit more of my graphite so I don't have that sketch showing up. So I'm going to be working fairly slow here in the beginning, but once I get into the actual leaf colors and whatnot, I will be able to speed up a bit more. I can't imagine that this drawing, today's prompt, is going to take all that long. Maybe an hour and a half at most, I think. But it was an easy one to plan. This was an easy one to plan, which was nice. It's nice to just do another relaxing piece. Yesterday's piece was just kind of loose and easy for me to do, and it was nice to just hang out with everybody and chat for a bit and not have to stress out too much about doing a good job. I think I've kind of learned that over the month. Is you know, as much as I want to impress you guys every single day with my drawing skills for the prompt, I think that I lost sight a little bit as to the fun I should be having with Inktober. So you can expect that the next few streams are going to be much calmer. I'm less concerned. I spent the past 28 days showing you guys that I can indeed draw all kinds of stuff quite well as also. So I think I'll spend the next couple days just having fun, hanging out with all you lovely people. Because I tell you what, this month of streaming has just been some of the most fun I've had with YouTube, and just being a professional artist. It has just been so fun hanging out with all of you guys, getting to know you a little bit better, meeting a few more new people as you came across my channel, specifically because of Inktober. I love that. I love knowing that. Just having all kinds of weird conversations with all of you lovely people. It's been great. It's been great. But it's not going to stop there. I'm going to continue streaming at least once a week, even after Inktober. So be sure to continue following my work and subscribing to my channel and whatnot, because I will be here for as long as I have the support to do this. See anybody else come in? Oh, hello, Stephanie, Renata, Steve, and Christy. Hello, everyone. Just finished watching day 27. Yes, that was a fun one, Steve. I wish you could have been there. Yes, it has been a very busy time for me. It's going to be quite the celebration once I'm done with Inktober. So what's the main #1 thing you love to draw? That's a great question. You know what? I don't think I got that question this month. I've gotten a lot of questions, but I'm not sure if I got that specific one. My favorite thing, my all-time favorite thing to draw. Oh, gosh. You guys love asking difficult questions. You know, there's so much difference in my body of work. You know, I draw virtually everything, and I like to draw that which is inspiring me in any given moment. But I would say that I'm drawn towards doing, gosh, I'm almost afraid to say something and commit to it. Because I want to say my kind of initial reaction to that question is, you know what, figures. I love drawing the human form with like a dramatic lighting. I do. Let me show you a few of my favorites, I think. So I really like doing it on this toned sketch paper. So like the human figure with the black, browns, and white on tan paper, it's really one of my favorite things to do. But even in this sketchbook, you can see I have a lot. Like this, I love the lighting, the pose, the just the human form. I love drawing it, no matter no matter what kind of picture it is, hands, any part of the human body. I just hand, feet. Yeah, so all kinds of stuff. Here's one that I tried. I'm not really a fan of this one. I tried doing white to red instead of white to black. Here's another one of my favorites. Yeah, so this is what, I think this is probably what I like to draw the most. But coming up in a very, very close second, I would have to probably put it to portraits. I think portraits might be my second favorite thing that I really enjoy drawing, but that's a great question, and you know what, I might have a different answer on a different day, to be honest with you, because I like to draw just about everything, and there's not really anything I haven't tried to draw. Although I will say that most likely my least favorite thing to draw is domestic pets, like cats and dogs and stuff like that. I don't really enjoy doing pet portrait type work. Not a huge fan of that. If I draw animals, I kind of like the more wild animals, not the domestic ones as much. I mean, I still kind of like to draw it, but it's lower on the list for sure. Let's see. Hello, Raph. I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Jennifer. You have a flair for the human form. Thank you, Chrissy. Yes. Hello, Shiny. Welcome. Naomi. Yeah, so that is my other sketchbook that I've been slowly filling up over the years. I usually work on that one for the drawing journal if I'm not doing some other project or whatnot. But I actually haven't worked in it in a really long time. Kind of miss that. Kind of miss working in that sketchbook. That sketchbook was kind of meant to practice portraits. Because before I started doing portraits and colored pencils, I just wanted to work on monochromatic portraits, working on shading and getting those subtle changes in tone and values to create the human face, and kind of got fairly confident with them and decided to start practicing a little bit of figures. And then I got into skin tones, working with skin tones and colored pencils, and I practiced that for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months before I finally did attempt my first colored pencil portrait, which actually was a self-portrait. If any of you remember that video, I do have a video of me drawing my first colored pencil portrait, which was also a self-portrait. I figured if I was going to attempt to draw a portrait for the first time with colored pencils, that I might as well draw myself instead of making anybody look uglier than they are. I figured I would try to draw myself instead, and it was actually the first time I've ever done a self-portrait. So it was a lot of first time doing colored pencil portrait, first time doing a self-portrait, and I'm still really proud of that portrait, and I'm still really proud of the video too. I did a lot of work in the video editing of that portrait. So if you haven't seen that video on my channel, I definitely recommend doing a little search of my self-portrait on my channel and checking that one out, because I think you'll enjoy not only the drawing but also the way I edited the video. Kind of pride myself on those videos that I edit. Alright, I think it's safe to erase some more of the graphite. So I'm just going to try to get rid of that graphite line a little bit more, so it's not showing up later on in the piece. Let's see, did I Where did you buy your lights? So I bought my lights on Amazon. I actually have a video about these lights. They're the GE. I don't know. They're made by GE. They're fairly inexpensive, and the best part about them is that they're not hot. They are fluorescent, which might bother some people. They don't bother me at all. But they're not hot, and which is nice. They use a lot less electricity, and you can chain them together. I'm sure you've probably seen how my table, my drawing table here looks, but I only have to plug one in, and then I can plug the next one into the next one, and that one into the next one, and you can do that, a ton of times, so that you're only using up one plug, and they don't use a lot of electricity. They're great for the video and stuff like that. It gives me light from 3 different angles. That way my shadows, like you can see that there's no real shadows for my hands, which is really great for video. And time lapses, I get a much more even light. So yeah, they're not the best for the webcam here. They kind of make my face look too bright sometimes. And but other than that, they're great. They're great, and they're very inexpensive. Oh, you have to go? Yes, I will be streaming tomorrow at the same time. So hopefully I'll see you then. Oh, thank you for answering that question, everyone. I didn't see it. I think what I'll try to do is, I don't have like a whole lot of detail that I need to get with this color, but I do kind of want to fill in a majority of the leaf with it. But I don't know if it's completely necessary. I think what I'll do is I'll switch to this color here. Yeah, this is a bit more yellow. I think this is the color that I want to be a bit more dominant on this side of the leaf. So I'm going to slowly just work all my light colors together and then just layer my markers down until I get the values and the texture. I'll worry about the texture last. I was thinking of the same thing, tree with leaves falling. Yep, I can imagine a few people coming up with the idea of, instead of falling as in the verb, fall as in the season. And that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go a little bit more positive as opposed to someone falling or something falling. I also thought about love. I thought about doing some kind of love inspired piece, but I couldn't quite think of something quick enough to do that. So I was going to do like a couple embracing or something along those lines, and then it was going to be falling and love. But yeah, I ended up not going that direction, as you can see. Just went with the leaf. The kind of wet texture of the markers is going to make this texture of the leaf actually look even better. That unevenness is like what you would struggle with if you were to do any other medium. But with markers, it almost just happens without trying. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Alright everyone, that's the end of the stream. That's my leaf. I hope you like it. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Kidding. Kidding, calm down. What size paper should we use? Are you asking me that? Because I'm not sure. Hello, Silvern. Nice to see you. All right, I'm going to take some yellow now and add some yellow into this portion of the leaf. Bring out some bright yellows. Yeah, I'm a comedian for sure. Actually, I think the only people that find me funny are a few of you here on YouTube. The rest of the world, or I guess I'm only funny to a camera and then to your guys' interpretation, because nobody else in the real world finds me to be funny. Oh, has it been 20 minutes? Oh yeah, I guess it has been about 20 minutes. The paper size for the month drawing. Are you referring to that month-long challenge thingy that I was kind of alluding to, the March masterpiece challenge thingy that I was thinking about? The paper size that I would most likely use for that is probably like A2 or A3, so something fairly large. About 4 times the size of this, actually. So maybe in inches it would be somewhere no smaller than 18 by 24, probably somewhere close to that, maybe 14 by 17. But yeah, I want to keep it quite big so that I can justifiably work on it for a month, because if I were to work on a piece of paper this size for an entire month, I don't know, it'd probably just end up looking like a bag of mess. Alright, 109. Let me grab some more yellows. You are relaxed with us, that's why you are able to crack a few funnies. Okay. If that's if that's the case, then. Yeah, I do. I am much more relaxed on the live streams than, you know, some of my first few live streams. It's nice. It's a nice feeling for sure. It feels good to be relaxed, not stressed out over, you know, doing anything perfect. I like where I'm at with my comfort level with all of you people. I was recording a sketch when I saw that I was live, so I decided to take a break for a while and watch. Oh, okay, well, I appreciate that. Go, are you cool? Maybe that's how you're supposed to read your name. Go, are you cool? Coon? You have to let me know. Anna off today. What she cooking? Yeah, Anna isn't working today. She's goofing around in the kitchen. Who knows what she's doing? She's probably creeping on the chats though. She should comment on the live stream and hang out with all of you people. But I don't know what she's doing. She's got her computer out there, so I know she's doing something. She's waiting for me to finish Inktober, that's for sure. That way we can get some time together a bit more regularly. Whole month of this has been painful on both of us. I'm gonna do the outline in this yellow so I can get it a little bit more bold. Am I planning on doing more live streams after Inktober? Absolutely. I will continue live streaming all the time. I do live streams every week. Even before Inktober, I live streamed. You know, sometimes it was always at least one, but sometimes I'd sneak in an extra stream in a week. And then my wife and we like to stream together. Do a couples stream where I try to teach her some kind of drawing or coloring technique. We've done colored pencils and pastels, and we even did acrylic painting, which it's somewhat of a disaster for both of us. It's kind of hard to plan those streams out because I need to figure out what I'm going to do and what I'm going to have my wife do artistically. But I don't know, maybe the next time we'll just play with some clay. That would be fun. We can make some nuggets out of polymer clay. I would enjoy doing that. All right, there's a nice outline. Just call me Gogo-kun? Okay. Not the only one to get the name wrong. Yeah, I can imagine that. Found Inktober to be a great way to force me to keep a deadline. Also, I need to get the boys ready for truck or treat later than trick or treat tonight. Yeah. Inktober has been a definite way to kind of boost your productivity and get you in a good rhythm and get you out of your comfort zone a little bit with, you know, productivity level. Consistency is another aspect of it that has been a great kind of thing to learn. It's been fun all around for sure. It's been a good challenge. And I look forward to it next year, but I also look forward to it being over this year. I would have done leaves for the prompt, but don't have colored markers. Yeah, you can do it in watercolor, like Brenda said. I'm working on a special piece for a special person this weekend. Well, that sounds like fun, Jennifer. I hope that goes well. If you guys have any questions, make sure you tag me, and I'm happy to answer. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want. I'm trying to think of anything that I might have missed to talk about over the past couple days. Tomorrow's prompt, what is tomorrow's prompt? It's United, right? If I'm not mistaken, tomorrow's prompt is United, or is it something else? Climb, fall, United, and then I'm blank, and then mask. I know the last one is mask. I'm trying to think of what tomorrow's, if tomorrow's is indeed United. I'm glad there are more live streams even after Inktober. Been a great stress reliever after a hard day with life and all. Yeah, life is stressful, that's for sure. But I'm glad that you enjoy the live streams and you can you know, kick back a little bit and relax. I'm glad it's soothing for you to tune in and hang out with everybody. There's definitely a great group of people that come to the live streams. I've said it a lot of times this month, but I never get tired of saying it. I feel like even though my channel is still relatively small in comparison to pretty much every other channel on YouTube, I wouldn't trade a single subscriber for 1,000 subscribers, because, or 100,000 subscribers, because I just feel like I have the best group of people. All of you just hang out and conversate amongst each other. A lot of you are so familiar with one another that you're friends on Facebook or you're in the same group. Speaking of groups, I do have a Facebook group called the Unmask Family. If you ever want to ask some questions off the stream or connect with some of the great people that are in the stream. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I have the link for that in the description. And speaking of links in the description, I also have the link to my Facebook fan page that you can click on and add. You know, send me some of your Inktober pieces. I'll be sharing the Inktober pieces I've gotten from yesterday, today, on tomorrow's live stream. I like to skip a day so I can collect a few more. So I did get quite a bit, and I was considering sharing them today, but I decided to hold off until tomorrow and share them. So yeah. Oh, you've been recording the United for tomorrow? Oh, okay. Do I have a reference photo, or are you using an actual leaf? No, I went ahead and just got a reference photo for this leaf here. I thought about going outside, but unfortunately it just rained, so all the leaves are going to be, you know, nice and wet. And so I was like, I kind of wanted to go outside and get a real leaf, but I decided to just use a reference photo instead. So I found a pretty leaf that I liked, and I just have it up on my screen and, you know, doing what I do with markers. Found, that's the one that I couldn't remember. Found. Yeah, I couldn't think of an idea for found. Oh, hello, Cece. Glad to see you on the stream. You must have just got off work or something. Oh, that's great, Grammy School. I'm glad you're able to come back for a little bit. Let's see here. I'm going to add some red. It's going to be a nice bright red. The funny thing that about this paper that I'm using, even though it's, you know, real crappy paper, and all the ink feathers a lot, it's actually somewhat beneficial with this subject because all of my spots need to be a little feathered out, which makes it a tiny bit easier, to be honest with you, to get all the things that I need to get. Helps me blend it out a little bit easier. Don't know what to do with found also. Yeah. That looks like a maple leaf. Do you have maple leaf trees in Poland? I actually have no idea. I think this is a maple leaf. I didn't look it up based on the type of leaf. I literally typed in leaf and looked at maybe 3 photos, and I was like, yeah, I like that one. So I did not, yeah, I didn't choose this. I wasn't too picky, to say the least, with this leaf. So. By the way, when are you planning to do some Inktober showcase? So right after Inktober, I'm going to start recording the kind of sketchbook tour, the Inktober sketchbook tour that will let you, I'll take you through each drawing that I've done. And yeah, so I'm going to do that as soon as I can right after Inktober ends. No later than like 3 days after Inktober finishes. So probably like Friday, maybe Thursday or Friday of next week, right after Inktober ends. I'd like to keep it pretty close to Inktober. Got eyelash in my eye. Let's see. Will I continue using this sketchbook? No, absolutely not. I will not use this sketchbook beyond this year's Inktober. Let's see. So I'll have about 20 pages left in this sketchbook, so I won't do anything with them. I mean, maybe I'll occasionally tear them out and use them as scrap paper, kind of like this, for colored charts and things. But for the most part, it's just going to be junked. It's just going to sit there as a remembrance to this Inktober, and that's about it. So I won't use it beyond this. It was a cheap sketchbook anyway. I was running out of time to decide whether I was going to do Inktober or not this year, and then I finished, as many of you know, I finished my Intro to Colored Pencil course right before Inktober, and so that was priority for the longest time, and then I realized, okay, I can go ahead and participate in Inktober because I finished it. And so as soon as I finished it, I was like, okay, I need to go get some stuff. And so I didn't order anything offline. I got my supplies from this local art store here in Poland that usually has just really mediocre stuff. Yeah, I went with that. And this is the only decent sketchbook that they had, unfortunately. Good morning. Found a pirate treasure. Oh, yeah, I was actually thinking about treasure, something along those lines for found a little bit. Actually, oh, thank you so much, Wendy. That gave me kind of the perfect idea. I like that idea a lot, so I'm going to write it down. Yes, you gave me, oh, you gave me the inspiration, Wendy. Perfect inspiration. I was even thinking like a found treasure or something like that earlier today, or maybe even yesterday. It was just a thought that crossed my mind. But when you said pirate treasure, for some reason it just made it click in my mind what I'm going to do. Now I have a really clear vision for tomorrow's prompt. So thank you for that, because I needed that. I needed that spark of inspiration. That's why I love having you guys here, hanging out. A hand digging nugget out of the dirt or sand. I also like that idea. Okay, so that Gogo-kun, that was your Godzilla. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that this morning in the messages. Sorry for the previous message, didn't send, but I was asking if you're going to do a showcase of your fans' Inktober pieces. Yes, so I do, not all of them. Goodness, I don't know, that would be an insanely long video, and it'd basically just be a slideshow of a bunch of drawings, so I'm not going to do that. I share them on the live stream, and I'm going to share everyone's pieces that they sent me over the past 2 days tomorrow. So your Godzilla piece I'll share tomorrow on the live stream, but that's all I'm going to do with all of your guys' work. I don't want to make a whole dedicated video to it because of the hundreds of pieces that I've collected from you guys over the span of this month. I made it easy on myself and I share those on the live stream instead. That's what you're here for. Yep, that's why I like you in the live streams, Wendy. Always giving me good ideas. I'm doing a treasure chest. Okay. So my idea for this day's prompt is drawing the man from yesterday being pushed down the mountain by Nugget. Oh, I can't imagine that Nugget would be so cruel. I have to draw these lines really quick so that I can get the line really, really thin. I told you this one was going to be quick. I'm pretty quick with markers, and this drawing's not too complicated. I still have some work to do, so don't get too bummed. I'm just gonna be here for a while. I want to hang out with you guys for a little bit. Still got some details that I need to iron out for this drawing here. But the leaf is starting to come to life a little bit. Any ideas for mask? Hold on, let me check to make sure I didn't miss anything else. So for mask, I'm thinking of doing a person with a mask of some kind. I'm asking a few of you. I'd love to see your take on my logo, maybe. If you guys are struggling with the idea for mask, I'd like to see what you guys come up with for like a reiteration of my logo of some kind, or maybe a portrait of me. That would be kind of cool to see a few of you do. I've only had, I think I've had 2 people, or maybe it was the same person twice. I'm trying to remember. I know I've had someone draw both me and Anna. They had a picture of us from a Facebook page that they used as reference, and they surprised us with a drawing, and that was always nice. Yeah. So let's see. I need to work on some more of this color. I need to darken up the stems on this side a bit more. Let's see. Okay, the man is evil, Sebastian. Then I don't feel so bad. Anyone else having trouble with the chat? What will I draw tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's the United one, and I'm not sure. I actually, the really dumb idea that I came up with earlier today was to draw a United Airlines plane, and almost as soon as I thought of it, I was like, that's stupid, I'm not drawing that. As soon as I thought it, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I just felt like it was a terrible idea. Not to say, now I have to say that if somebody else were to draw that, I wouldn't immediately think that their drawing is dumb. But for me, for an idea that I came up with, I felt like it was a dumb one for me to come up with. So I scratched that one almost as quickly as I thought of it. I need to do a little bit more outlining with this orange, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to draw tomorrow. But for the found prompt, I have the idea in my head. I'll work out the details, but yeah, I like one of the first ideas that I had come up with for found. I just realized this. I totally forgot. I thought about the Fountain of Youth. So I was going to do kind of a hot spring type drawing, and then I was going to have somebody in the spring, but I was like, I don't know about that idea, because it would be really hard to actually illustrate that it's the Fountain of Youth. I'd have to almost just spell it out. Like, what am I going to do? Have a sign up that says the Fountain of Youth? And then I thought about maybe I could do kind of a story where I draw like a really old nugget, and he stumbles upon this this hot spring, and he jumps in and then comes out all youthful. But that was, if anybody is interested in that idea, feel free to use the Fountain of Youth for the found, because that's kind of what I was thinking about doing at first. But then Wendy's comment sparked an idea in my head, so I'm most likely going to choose that idea that I was thinking of. After all the aftermath of Hurricane, I treated myself to a full set of Luminance pencils. Can't wait for them to arrive. Oh, that is awesome, Steve. That is awesome. I'm glad you got that. That's really cool. I hope you really enjoy them. They are going to go really well with your polychromos. United Nugget getting married. Oh, I like that, Beverly. That's a good idea. My Inktober is done on one sheet of paper where I draw all my drawings on there. Yeah, I really liked that idea. I think you sent me kind of like the midway point of what you're drawing. I really like that idea of doing all your prompts on a single piece of paper. That's really, really cool. I'm struggling to find a good space, so I'm thinking of drawing fall leaves and gold ink falling down the full drawing. I don't think that's a bad idea. You know, just draw a bunch of leaves kind of floating down the page. Maybe leave a little bit of space for the last few days prompt. Maybe only draw like, you know, leaves around the top falling down, and maybe a few like right next to some of your characters and things, but try to leave some space. Be aware that you still have a few prompts left to do. I'm going to come in here with a little bit of gray to darken up a few of these spots. And some lighter gray to desaturate some of this orange and yellow a bit. Make the leaf look a little more realistic. You're awesome, but I gotta go. I will try to come tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow. You take care. There we go. Tone down some of those colors a bit. And I think I'm going to use this around the edge. Maybe over here a little bit. Let's see, did I miss anything? Okay, good. I trying to make sure I keep up with the chat. Sometimes you guys keep me too busy with all your comments and stuff. I'm gonna add some more yellow over to this side. So what do you guys think of my leaf so far? Does it look like a leaf? Or does it just look like a slob of marker? Got any tips for skin tones? Been meaning to do realistic portraits. Last time I made one was in 2015 and it was not good, so I switched styles. Well, actually I do have a few tutorials here on my channel specific to both portraits and skin tone, so I definitely recommend checking those out. I did a portrait tutorial last year. I take you through pretty much beginning to end, doing the eyes, the skin, the hair, the background, the whole nine. It's about a half-hour long, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I give you the color palette that I use for that specific drawing. But a lot of the colors that I do use for portraits, you know, and skin tone in particular, I use those same colors across the board in just about all of my portraits. And actually just yesterday I was live streaming over on Patreon because I've been working on this portrait here, and we worked on this part of the skin for the tutorial over on Patreon. So I have that, and then if you want to do specifically skin, I do have a bit of an advanced skin tutorial that I did earlier this year, back in January, I think, maybe January or February. So you got to go back a little ways, but the skin tutorials are there. I cover everything that I could possibly say now, but I would say one of the most important things that you have to remember when you're doing skin is don't be afraid to lay down your color. If you know you're using the right color, then lay that color down, and don't you know, do less than what you need. Do exactly what you need for the color. That would be probably one of the most important aspects of coloring skin. So all right, now I'm gonna start working on the texture of this leaf, which I'm just gonna do a bunch of stippling, tapping the marker down. This is gonna give me that extra texture that I need to make this leaf look more leafy. I think I need to use orange first. Yeah, this is the color I need first. Then I'll come in with the red in the darker tones a little bit later. I took your advice on the second and third perspective, and it did give me more ideas than 1 point perspective, the first perspective. That's good. I took your advice on laying down the colors, but I think I chose the wrong ones, so I just used a bunch of them. I'm still scared to do commissions. I want to feel a little bit more confident with my artwork before starting. Yeah, I recommend getting a little bit more confident before you jump into commissions, because what you could end up doing, aside from disappointing your clients, you could also you know, disappoint yourself, and if you disappoint a client, I can assure you that is much more detrimental to your confidence than if you just disappoint yourself by practicing. But I'll share a few things with you as far as doing commissions. So when I was in college doing my associate's degree, I was asked to do a mural in this person's baby's room, and I was like, yeah, I can do a mural. It's just a mural, whatever. It shouldn't be a problem. It ended up being 88 square feet, and they wanted it to be an Australian theme. I actually have a time lapse on my channel. Pretty much everything I've created in some regards exists on my channel somewhere. But you can watch me paint this mural. It's my very first mural that I've ever done, and I did not charge enough. That is for sure. I think I charged about $800 or $900 for it, and it took me 10 weeks. I think it took me 10 weeks to paint because, you know, I was still in school and I was working and whatever. So I was really busy, and I did it pretty much every spare moment. But it came out pretty good, but I was nervous. I was nervous like the whole time I was working. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing. and I didn't want them to feel less confident in me, so I just masked it the best that I could. You know, I faked it until I made it, kind of thing. And they were super happy with it. I think that it came out really good. And, you know, I did a lot of planning to make sure that I was going to be able to do the mural well. But that was one of those commissions that just scared me half to death, because I was like, oh gosh, I need to not mess this up. However, maybe, I don't know, sometime after that, someone contacted me from the internet, just random person, that owned a granite company, and they asked me if I would paint a diamond on their wall. And yes, I do have the time lapse for that as well. But they wanted me, in their shop, they wanted me to paint a diamond. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, it's just a diamond. It's super easy. And I think I spent, let's see, I spent, I think, around 16 or 17 hours in 2 sittings working on the diamond. And they hated it. They despised it. They hated it so much that they stopped returning my phone calls. They still paid me, but they hated it. And I was like, well, what is wrong with it? Like, everybody that I shared it with, it was one of the drawings that a lot of people really liked of mine, and I couldn't figure out why they hated it. They just didn't like the way that it looked. And, you know, even though I feel like their opinion of it was unjustified, you know, I tried to correct it. When I finished it, they said that they didn't like it, and I was like, okay, I'll come down and I'll continue to work on it. And I did just that, and they still didn't like it, and they refused to take my phone call, because I called them back several times and left messages. I was like, you know, when I do a commission, I always guarantee my work. I was like, look, if you don't like it, then you don't have to pay for it. And I was like, well, you know, I will work on this diamond until you love it. That was my standard, and it still is. And they just wouldn't return my phone calls. Apparently it was so bad that they had to completely go ghost on me. But yeah, that, I don't know if I ever shared that story on YouTube, but that was a pretty bad experience. Mural, that would be way too stressful. Yeah. I have also found that when I do commissions, it forces me to slow down and try and be better. Yeah. Commissions are stressful. They are indeed. Maybe you could use colored fine liner to help with the texture getting sharper contrast. Well, actually, I have all of my colored fine tips with these trio markers. So yeah, I think it's coming along. I just need to continue adding more and more detail. Oh, hello, Elise. Did I miss anybody else coming in? Don't think so. Oh, talk about the advantages of the luminance pencils. Well, let's see. Let me just make sure I'm all caught up with the chat. So the benefits of the luminance pencils, and let me first compare them to Prismacolors, because that's a set of pencils that I always recommend. So I would say that luminance is probably the second set of colored pencils that I would recommend buying if you feel like you've outgrown Prismacolors. So anytime somebody is starting new to colored pencils, I always say get the Prismacolors, get the Prismacolors. Don't get any other pencils. Go with the cheaper Prismacolors, and if you don't like the medium, then there's no reason to waste your money going any farther. And so in comparison to Prismacolors, what you're going to get two things. You're going to get light fastness, which is important to a lot of artists and clients, in the sense that the work will last longer. So anytime when I do commissions, and now I talk a lot about light fastness, I've had some questions about it and whether or not I care about light fastness, and the truth is I don't. But if I do a commission, especially a colored pencil commission, then I care about light fastness, because it's not about my art, it's about the client's product. And so with the luminance pencils, you get a light fastness rating that is respectable and will last a long time for your client. And the other thing that you get is just a higher quality product in the way that it's designed, the way that it's constructed, and the opacity of the pigment. So you just get better pencils. They sharpen easily, and all that stuff. They have a bit some nicer colors. Prismacolor has some really great colors, but luminance also has just these unique skin tone colors that I just cannot live without. Other than that, the price, I'll tell you that's not a plus side for the luminance. The cost of those things are outrageous, but I think it's worth it in the end. So that's what I would say you get as far as benefits, and they're just a beautiful set of pencils. And in comparison to polychromos now, because I know a lot of people, in my opinion, mistakenly go with polychromos before getting luminance. The luminance pencils are wax based, similar to the Prismacolors, whereas the polychromos are oil based. And the thing with the polychromos is that they're super translucent. The colors, you see through the colors. No matter how much layering you do, you always see through the colors, and it drives me nuts. I can't stand it. And so I don't use them as a primary pencil. I don't think polychromos are very good as just by themselves. I think there's a severe limitation to the fact that they're all translucent. So with the luminance, you get the opaqueness. You can cover your paper really well, and that's why I always say that if you're going to buy professional set of colored pencils, go with the luminance, not the polychromos. I do have the set of polychromos, and I only bought them to add to my collection after I was working with the luminance for quite some time. And I still do like the polychromos, and they're really great for layering when it comes to doing kind of a toned layer over top of my wax-based pencils. They blend really nicely into them, and it's just a great set of pencils to have with the more opaque luminance, but not by themselves, not so much by themselves. But yeah, that's what I would say is the difference. Yeah, the guy that I painted the diamond for, he must have totally had a different set of taste in art, but it worked out in the end. I still got paid, so I actually used the money that I got from that commission to buy my GoPro, which was the major upgrade to my YouTube channel. So at the very least, I still got that. Let's see here. I'm going to take some red now and start doing some stippling. Let's see. It may not have been you at all. I once bought a huge painting for my bedroom. I thought it was going to look amazing on the wall. Brought it home and it was horrible. Yeah. Different lighting, sometimes different surrounding colors. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, I think I'm caught up with the chat. Great questions, everyone. Thank you for the questions. Yeah, feel free to ask me more. Ask me as many questions as you want. I don't think I have any more commissioned horror stories. I think one of the I would say one of the easiest commissions that I got was repainting a sign for like $300. It was fantastic. I repainted a sign. It was even a teeny tiny little sign. Took like no effort at all. Yeah, that was a kind of a strange commission, but if they wanted an artist to do it, I was going to charge an artist price. One of the other things about commissions is I never pay for supplies. Anytime someone commissions me, I make them pay for the supplies. It's a little bit different when it comes to things that you already have. For instance, somebody commissioned me to do a colored pencil piece. Then I just kind of factor in the cost of the supplies by a fraction, I suppose. So if I'm going to use like, you know, a few of my luminance pencils like all the way, then I'll just, you know, charge an extra like $50 or something like that. I'm not very lenient with my prices on commissions. I've mentioned before that I don't do a lot of commissions because I prefer to just draw whatever I like rather than what people hire me to do. So I charge a lot. I charge a lot for my commissions. One of my sayings is that I won't even pick up a pencil for less than $100. So I'm pretty strict with that. If anybody was curious about my pricing, because that's also another thing that comes up a lot. A lot of people are like, well, how do you price your artwork? You know, what is it that you what is it that you look at to price your artwork? And honestly, I just make it up. Like, whatever I feel like my artwork is worth is what I charge, and I don't compare it to anybody else. So I might have, I know I have a few drawings that I wouldn't sell for less than $700. I have one painting in particular that I wouldn't sell for less than $4,000. So there's all kinds of different variables that you can kind of look at when it comes to pricing your work, but the truth is I just make it up. Just make it up. I'm as variable with my prices as the art auctions that you always hear about, of like this paintings selling for like $23 million for like a blank canvas painted white. You know, if they're gonna sell those kind of things for outrageous prices, then I'm gonna list my stuff for outrageous prices, or what prices that I consider to be outrageous for me. And you know, if somebody wants to buy it, then awesome. That's a win for me. If nobody wants to buy it, awesome. I get to keep it. One of the things that I think people do way too often, is they underprice their work just for the sake of getting work. And that is like the last thing that I think you should do. Even if you're starting out with commissions, you need to give yourself a healthy price, something that you can build off of. Because if you're doing like pet portraits or whatnot, and you're selling them for under $100, $100, £100, whatever, then not only are you making it absolutely impossible for you ever to come close to making a living, but if the person you're selling that to shares the price that you sold it to somebody else, and then you get another client that wants you to draw that, you can't bump up your price and them know the price you charge their friend or whatever. So don't ever undersell yourself. If the people want it, they will pay the price that you're asking, and if they don't want it, then they can go somewhere else. Because you have to. If you're going to make a living doing commissions, you need to be confident in your pricing. That is for sure. Not just in your work, but also in your prices. I have a question, so let's take leaves, because that's where I had the question. Would you put detail down first in pencil, then lay down watercolor, or paint first, then do pencil? No, I never do detail first. There's this technique that I've gone over quite extensively over on Patreon, and I may have mentioned it a few times here on YouTube. It's called frequency separation. It's how I draw everything, or how I basically color everything. I always work with the gradient first. In painting, you would think of this as being the underpainting, or the the less detailed, wider brushstroke part of the painting, and then you add the details over top. For instance, with this leaf, you saw me color it all in flat with really no regard to any detail. And then you saw me start putting in the detail as I got smaller and smaller and smaller until I'm down to these just little stipplings. And I do that same process with colored pencils. I do that same process with painting. And I would do that same process with pencils and watercolor. So I would do my watercolors broadly, and then I would go from there, and I'd start to get smaller. I would change my brush size to something smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then after I get as much detail with that part, then I would come over top of it with the pencils. But I would never do the pencils first, because first off, if you're doing wax-based pencils, watercolors won't lay over top of that pencil, so you can't even do it that way. Let's see, what else? One of the most painful things in selling art is losing it. I defiably know how that feels. Definitely, maybe it's just a typo. Yeah, when it comes to artwork that I really like, I just don't sell it. So I won't sell something that I'm attached to emotionally, or like something I just don't want to sell. But then there's other pieces that I do. I was like, I don't care if it sells or not. If somebody wants to buy it, I'm happy to sell it. But then there's some pieces that I just absolutely won't sell. I don't know how many I have of those. Probably just a handful or so. Like my self-portrait. I obviously wouldn't sell my self-portrait. That one is mine and will always be mine. So that's something that I wouldn't sell, even if somebody offered to buy it. I'd be like, no, why do you want that? It's creepy, it's weird, you're not getting it. I never understand how these paintings get popular. Do you want my canvas that I painted black? Okay, that will be $100,000. Yeah, the art market, like the whole collector thingy, the top end stuff, makes zero sense to me. And there's a great video that I watched about whether that stuff requires skill or whatever, and all of that stuff is controlled by like this kind of cabal of gallery owners type thing. And what they do is they give these kind of paintings some really obscure prestige that makes people want it, and they invent these prices out of thin air, and they convince these rich gallery or these rich collectors that these paintings are worth this. And the only reason the paintings are actually ever worth anything is because there's somebody willing to buy it, and they just convince these people that they're worth this price. And oftentimes they actually sell it amongst each other. They sell these pieces amongst each other to drive the prices up of these paintings. So it's totally unethical and just disgusting. It's disgusting, and I would never want any part of it. Let's see, what else? The worst is when family and friends want it for free. Yeah, my family and friends will learn real quick I don't work for free. When they ask me to do something, and I won't talk to them. Do you mean how the fine art market is a scam video? It could be. I don't know. I don't remember the title of it, but that sounds like a really concise name for what it is. Sometimes auction art prices are more understandable than YouTube, and that's saying something. Sorry, I've been very quiet. Been working on acrylic painting while I've been listening. That's okay, Cheryl. You enjoy the stream, and oh, you gotta go? Okay, well, have fun painting and take care. Thanks for coming by. Hope to see you tomorrow. There's this show called Adam Ruins Everything. Yeah, yeah. Adam, I'm not a huge fan of Adam Ruins Everything. I think he gets way too much stuff. He tends to oversimplify a lot of things, and he gets a lot of things twisted, to say the least. But some of the videos he's done's okay. Some of the videos. Can't agree with him on everything though. He probably got the art thing correct. I haven't seen it, but yeah. I'm pretty much done with this leaf. Let me just start adding some more dots to it. I was so caught up in the conversation, I forgot that I am supposed to be drawing. I'm supposed to be drawing some. But the leaf is almost done. I think I might use a bit of white gel pen to bring out some of the highlights a little bit in a few select areas. And then, of course, I'm going to do a nice drop shadow to make the leaf look a little bit more three-dimensional and kind of sitting on the page. In my opinion, the art gallery that overprices their art is just a plain disrespect for those love the craft of art. Yeah, it's degrading to artists everywhere. I would never aspire to be a part of that community ever. It's just I can't. I have zero respect for it. I have zero respect for it at all. I wouldn't even entertain a phone call from somebody from a gallery that would represent such disgusting things in the art community. It should be publicly shamed. They make something like art into the most pretentious profession, and it's just, yeah, it's just disgraceful. Like art should not be about that kind of prestige. It shouldn't be pretentious ever. But I feel like that's always the direction it has to go. Anytime like I've seen like artists in movies, it's always been so pretentious. It's so obnoxious and annoying. Don't as much as you want, just talk. Dot it. Oh, okay, dot as much as I want, just talk. Yeah, yeah. But then he said, if you want to do art, do what you want to do, because it's not about what others think of your art, but what you think of it. It's unhealthy, actually. I did consider posting a good art of mine in an art gallery, but when I saw what the art gallery actually looked like, I left. Yeah. I actually, so when I was graduating with my associate's degree before moving on to university for my bachelor's, I did a really large painting. Again, the time lapse is on YouTube. It's Beneath the Veil, my Beneath the Veil painting. I spent like 3 months or like 2.5 months on this painting, and it was my final project for my gallery showing, or somewhat of my gallery showing. They were taking the best pieces from the art students, even though I was a math student, and they were going to hang them up in the local gallery. And so I planned this painting for like a month, and then I took like 2 months to paint it, and everybody loved it. My teacher loved it. Everybody that saw it loved it. I was super excited for it to hang up in the local gallery, and this was in Everett, Washington. And so, you know, there's 250,000 people that live in Everett. So a lot of people, a fairly large and popular gallery right in the middle of Everett. So it would have been really cool to have this piece hung up, and it was huge. It was 36 by 72 inches. So that's about 1 meter by 2 meters. Yeah, for those using that measurement. So it was huge. It was the biggest painting that I've done, with the exception of the mural. And my teacher got it prepared to hang up, and took it to the gallery, and was hanging it up or whatever. And the people at the gallery said that they couldn't hang it because it showed nudity. And I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing. I mean, this is a different scenario. This is a little bit different scenario than, you know, like some high-end gallery or whatever. But it was so disappointing. My teacher went crazy on them. My teacher went crazy on them because she thought it was the stupidest thing in the world for them to do. Because it wasn't like erotic art or anything like that. It was very tasteful figure, and it was green. Like the figure's green. It wasn't even like realistic colors or anything like that. So it was totally stupid, and she was immensely disappointed in their choice to not let that painting hang. But that's my only gallery. That's my only gallery experience, and yeah. I find gallery owners are very snobby. Yeah. I don't know too many. I haven't met very many. So. Oh, Takeo. I'm from Ohio. Yeah, if you search my channel for Beneath the Veil, then you should be able to find that painting that I'm referring to that they wouldn't hang up. Alright, I'm going to do the cast shadow now. So this is going to be pretty much the finishing touches of this leaf. So if you guys have any last questions for me, ask them really quick, and then I'm going to close out today's stream probably in a few minutes. But real quick, I do want to mention that the Unmask Family Facebook is available for you guys to join if you're interested in sharing some of your work for inspiration. Asking questions. Be sure to read the group rules, and also to share your Inktober pieces. I'd love to share them on tomorrow's live stream. So be sure to send them to me over on Facebook. I have the link for that in the description. So make sure to send those to me. And what else? Oh, you know what? So yesterday's prompt for the climb, and I did the nugget. Or no, 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago when I did Nugget and Bucky the Squirrel. I just want to mention real quick that last night Anna and I watched The Emperor's New Groove. Of course, she struggled to stay asleep like she does in all movies, but yeah. It was good. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, so it was nice to see it again. The shadow makes it look 3D. Yep, that's the point. That's the objective there. The old question: what is art? What is not art? What is art? What is not art? Yeah, I don't think I have enough time in the stream to go through that one. I think to put it as simply as I can, I would say that art is anything that you create that you earnestly have a passion to get better at. So anything that you create that you truly and authentically have the passion to get better at. If you're doing anything just for the sake of doing it, just for the attention, then whatever you're making is not art. But if you genuinely have the passion to get better at whatever it is you're making, and I say making because I think art requires the creation of something, whether it's cooking, whether it's changing the way a car looks, or or even the way a car runs. As long as you have the authentic passion behind it to get better, think the progression is also a very important aspect of determining what is art and what is not art. And to answer the second part, what is not art? Art, what would I consider not being art? I would consider anything that I think it has to go with a bit of photography. I have to take this example. The act of taking pictures does not make you a photographer. The act of taking pictures with the earnest intention of getting better at taking pictures, I think, makes you a photographer. So not everybody that takes pictures is an artist. I would say a photographer is an artist. But there's that differentiation between someone taking pictures and a photographer, and what would not be art and what would be art. So hopefully that definition makes a bit of sense to you guys, and yeah, hopefully I didn't offend anybody by it. Not that I would care if I did, because that's my opinion, and yeah, I would have to say is probably my best definition of what is and what is not art. But I think that puts it as simply as I possibly can for the short amount of time that I tried to answer that question. But yeah, that's a tough question to answer. Have I watched Monster House? I don't remember. I think I did. You make good art, in my opinion. Oh, thank you, Renata. I love the results of the leaf. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm glad you like it. I think that yeah, I think it came out pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. Yeah, it was a fun one, not too difficult. It was easy to do and carry on a conversation, which I love to do with all of you. I love the conversations that we have. You guys ask some interesting questions for sure. But anyways, that is going to be it for today's live stream. Really appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out with me. Make sure, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you know, if you haven't subscribed by this point, don't forget to, so you don't miss out on tomorrow's stream. And you know what? Maybe some of the videos that I talked about that I've done previously on my channel, go check them out. And if you like them, maybe give it a share. That would be super helpful. You guys are awesome, and I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Don't forget to send me your Inktober pieces, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.